I'm about to say something outrageous right now, so prepare yourself. I want to give you access to a secret psychological technique which will literally force your ex to forgive you for everything and desire you so badly that they will literally chase you around like crazy. Do you know that by pushing a few emotional hot buttons already located in your ex's mind, you can influence him or her to your way of thinking and make them feel an almost overbearing and irresistible urge to be with you again, desire you again, love you again. An urge so strong and intense that your ex will experience strong shivers of passion and adoration rush through their body at the very thought of you. An urge so intense that your ex will feel heavy spurts of hungry desire for you that will almost force them to hold you, touch you, and be with you once again. This same urge will make your ex feel an overflow of love, desire, and attraction towards you, even if they absolutely hated you until this point. I want you to stop whatever you're doing right now and pay very close attention to this free presentation, as I don't know how long I can keep it online. Why can't I keep it online for long? Well, there's a very good reason for this. I've revealed some very illogical and even ridiculous psychological tricks in this presentation. Heck, some of this is extremely controversial and could even piss a few people off, so I don't know how long I can keep it online. I can almost guarantee that this is nothing like anything you've heard or seen before, so make sure you watch it right now while it's still available. Now, I want you to imagine something for a second. Imagine how good you will feel when the very person who is acting distant and avoiding you like a plague suddenly comes running to you, wraps his or her arms around you, hugs you so tight that it almost hurts, and gently whispers the 4 magic words you were dying to hear from them. I want you back. Imagine how exhilarating it'll be when the very person who never wanted to see your face is begging you to take them back with an agonizing sense of desperation raining from their eyes. Imagine how revealed you will feel when you finally see that dark cloud of depressing emotions start to dissolve and you will finally wave goodbye to that terrorizing breakup pain. Imagine how great it will be to finally wake up in the morning without feeling that tight knot of horrible pain in your stomach. Imagine how amazing it'll be when every muscle in your body experiences that delicious feeling of relief and satisfaction, and you feel blissfully happy once again. Imagine how euphoric you will feel when your ex finally calls you and tells you how much they've missed you, how badly they want to be with you, how sorry they are for everything and promise to never ever let you go again. What if I showed you exactly how you can use this psychological technique to not only get your ex back, but to trigger a unique kind of attraction which is so intense and emotionally powerful that they will never want to lose you again? And what if I further told you that this secret works for both men and women, and is so disgustingly simple that you'd kick yourself in the gut for not having discovered it earlier? Once you understand how to use this psychological technique, you will have an unfair advantage in every situation you encounter with your ex. You will feel a sense of power in your relationship like never before, and will have a wide grin plastered across your face, because now you will be able to make your ex feel extra passionate for you, whenever you feel like it. This very thing will give you the power to make your ex feel an almost obsessive and crazy amount of love for you. They will struggle to think of anyone else but you. I can promise that you will feel a sudden jolt of excitement work its way up your spine once you understand how easy this really is. I know it sounds too good to be true, and even impossible right now, but I can personally promise that after you finish watching this short presentation, you will know exactly how to use this psychological technique and will be blown away with the results you achieve with it. Trust me, this is one of the most important videos you are ever going to see. What you're going to discover about your ex from this video might be the most important 5 minutes you ever spend. My name is Ryan Hall, and I'm not some big relationship guru or a psychologist with a fancy PhD to my name. In fact, I'm an everyday average guy, but my crazy story will explain the main reason why I'm speaking to you today. I still remember that day very vividly. I was pacing around my room anxiously with a phone in my hand, grinding my teeth really hard and nervously trying to dial my girlfriend's number. She had avoided my calls for 3 days in a row, and panic was slowly starting to make its way into my life, and my heart was squeezing with pain. I could sense in my bones that something really awful was about to happen. I just felt it coming. Her phone started to ring, and this time she finally answered. I heard a heavy dose of sarcasm in her voice, and she appeared oddly cold and aloof. It felt like she was really pissed off over the fact that I called. There was a very unwelcome tension building up between us, and it felt like the volcano was on the verge of erupting. After a few minutes of very difficult conversation in a very distant and cold tone, she said, "I'm sorry, Ryan. I've wanted to tell you this for quite some time. We can't be together anymore." I felt this huge tremor of fear and uncertainty rising up in my body. Before I could say anything, she hung up. Utter silence on the line cut through the tiny bit of hope I was holding on to. I felt hot all of a sudden, and tears began to burn their way down my cheeks. An intense amount of depression flooded my body as I realized that I'd lost her, possibly forever. The pain was so bad that it felt like someone had punched me really hard in the stomach. It was utterly unbearable. I spent the next days drowned in panic-inducing pain and disappointment. I was laying flat on the bed one day, staring at the roof, when suddenly images of my ex flashed through my mind. I remembered all the amazing experiences we shared. I remembered our first ever kiss and that sudden rush of exhilaration I felt from feeling her warm body against mine. I remembered how good she smelled and how intensely we were in love with each other. Then all of a sudden, something hit me. Something inside me screamed, "What if she's already found someone else?" My temporary joy was taken over by this extreme sense of insecurity. I feared that some other guy is probably holding her, kissing her, and God forbid, having sex with her right now. I felt such an extreme sense of loss that I literally felt myself sinking deeper and deeper in the pool of despair. All the temporary comfort evaporated from my body like water evaporates from a glass on a hot sunny day. The breakup pain was already bad enough, but how was I going to deal with that crazy emotional tornado that would erupt when I witnessed her slipping away into the arms of some other man? I felt utterly powerless, and I knew that there wasn't a goddamn thing I could do to bring her back. My body ached with an intense sense of sickness. But that's when something really weird happened. My mind was telling me that it's all over, but my heart just wasn't ready to accept it. That's when something within me screamed, there has to be a way to get her back. I understood that I could fill oceans with my tears, but this situation wouldn't resolve by itself. I had to take some action, and had to do that fast. This is where I began my desperate search for solutions. I collected a bunch of relationship psychology books and read them page to page. I sucked every little to big piece of information like a super powerful vacuum cleaner sucks dust. I don't know if it was a matter of pure coincidence or sheer luck, but I couldn't believe what I had stumbled upon. It was the perfect psychological recipe to not only get your ex back, but to keep them attracted to you for as long as you please. Overwhelmed by this new discovery, I slowly started applying this to my situation. I can't share the whole story with you right now due to time and space limitations, but let me fast forward to the part you'll be interested in. What happened next was something I could never have imagined. My ex-girlfriend was at my doorstep crying, telling me how much she missed me, how much she regrets her decision to let me go, and how badly she wants me back in her life. I was literally shell-shocked and had my jaw dropped on the floor. I mean, I knew this technique would work, but I didn't know it would work this fast and this easily. It was at that moment when a completely random thought popped up into my head. I suddenly realized that there must be millions of people around the world who are currently suffering from the same heart-wrenching and agonizing breakup pain that I suffered from. Just imagining all this made my heart plummet with grief, and it was at that moment where I decided to make one of my core missions to help as many people as possible with my newly discovered information. Over the next few weeks, I shared this exact formula with one of my friends in a similar situation, and he had his ex calling him like crazy and begging him to get back together. I also shared this exact same technique with my cousin and helped her to go from a point where her husband of 3 years had literally abandoned her to the point where he was begging her for forgiveness and wanted her to give him another chance. In the coming months, my friends started referring their friends to me for relationship help. As funny as it sounds, I was being referred to as a relationship expert at this point. But one thing was a fact. I had the exact step-by-step recipe anyone could use to get their ex back. Now, I want to share that exact step-by-step recipe with you right here in this presentation. But before that, I want to give you some bad news. If you're anything like me, then you've already gone to the edge of insanity and back, torturing yourself after your breakup. You've probably blundered your way through all of it, making the most terrible mistakes, which you probably regret now. Tell me if any of this sounds familiar. You usually wake up feeling an almost unexplainable intensity of pain. The kind of pain where you feel like you're dragging your lifeless body around all day long and suffer from this lingering mood that feels almost impossible to cure. You constantly think about your ex and feel an overwhelming sense of pain and anxiety, along with an extreme sense of helplessness because they are completely avoiding you and you just can't seem to find a way to change that. You probably feel constant guilt over what you did or said and desperately wish you could somehow turn back time and undo all the mistakes. Perhaps you've pictured them with another guy or girl and felt your stomach cringe imagining them kissing or making love with this new person. Just thinking about your ex having a great time with a new person makes you experience a raging internal earthquake, and as a result, you're struggling to eat and your health has been suffering because of it. Maybe this overwhelming pain has pushed you into doing irrational and obsessive things. You've probably called your ex hundreds upon thousands of times while sending them endless texts and emailing to the point of oblivion, as you pleaded and begged them to give you one final chance, but all you ever got in return was the punishment of even more cruel and agonizing pain. If your situation is really awful, then you've even tried spying on your ex and constantly drive by their home, work, and hangout spots to check up on them. Maybe even obsessively check your phone, email, or Facebook account in hopes that your ex has finally left you a message. But the sad truth is, none of this has worked and you are still left with that cold, distant, and soul-destroying feeling in the pit of your stomach. You feel all alone because nobody understands you. Your friends and family tell you to just move on already, but they don't know what you're going through or how difficult it really is. If you've already followed this pattern and made some or all of these typical mistakes, then you've done a good but unfortunate job of pushing your ex further away. But let me tell you another thing. It is not your fault. Don't beat yourself over thinking and rethinking all of the mistakes you have made till now. It's really not your fault. I know how painful it is to feel absolutely restless and toss and turn all night because your mind won't stop thinking about your ex. I know exactly how it feels when you suddenly find your heart anxiously racing as you feel yourself sinking into this perpetual zone of depression because you just don't know what to do. Unfortunately, we don't come into this world with an instruction manual on how to manage this stuff. We aren't taught about relationships in school or college. Right now, it may seem so utterly hopeless, but now let me come to the good news. It will all change for you today. This means that you will never have to be tortured, burnt, or traumatized with this problem ever again. To illustrate this, let me ask you a strange question. Have you ever seen couples get back together after a breakup? I'm sure you have. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever seen couples reuniting even when one of the partners cheated or even worse, was abused? Okay, now you might be worried that I could be a freaking psycho or something for bringing up such an extreme example. Well, not exactly. Hear me out here, because the big question is this. How can people let their ex back into their life even when there was abuse or something unforgivably extreme involved? The fact of the matter is, people are willing to make up, even when there is something as severe as cheating or abuse involved in the relationship. This happens because human emotions are never permanent. In other words, if you hate someone right now, it doesn't mean you'll permanently hate that person forever. I'll explain the psychology behind this in a moment. But before that, I must clarify myself. I'm not trying to justify abuse. All I'm really saying is that no situation is impossible. There's hope in all cases. Alright, now let me share the secret sauce with you. The exact step-by-step formula which I've used to help hundreds of men and women to successfully get their ex back. Please take notes, as this is extremely important. What I'm about to share with you is so important that without it, it will be utterly impossible to get your ex back. In fact, understanding this very thing is so important for you to learn that if you don't, your ex will push you away so much that they will eventually forget you completely and you will feel that they are gone forever. I call this process the pull your ex back formula, and it involves two extremely simple steps to pull your ex back into your life at rocket speed. Step 1. You have to appeal to the emotional side of your ex's mind. Every human has two minds. The conscious mind, which follows logic, and then the unconscious mind, which follows emotion. Our conscious mind is within our active control, while the unconscious mind is not within our active control. The conscious mind deals with our thoughts, while the unconscious mind is responsible for generating feelings and emotions. That's why it's also called the emotional mind. Moreover, here's the interesting thing. Whenever there's a battle between the conscious and unconscious mind, the unconscious mind wins, hands down. In other words, emotion outweighs logic every single time. This is the primary reason why people still make up even after they've suffered intense abuse in the relationship. Logically speaking, going back to the person who abused you is a pretty bad idea. However, when you're feeling that intense emotional urge to go back to that person, you forget all logic and follow your emotions. Similarly, once you appeal to the emotional part of your ex's mind, You'll be able to make him or her literally dance to your tunes, since the emotional mind isn't within a human being's control. You'll be able to trigger feelings of love and affection within their mind, and your ex will have absolutely no idea how you're doing it. They'll just feel this strong inner urge to be with you again. On the other side of the spectrum, have you ever wondered why people fall out of love and start disliking the very person they love dearly? It doesn't happen because a person logically decided to stop loving their partner. It happened because on a deeper emotional level, that very person is getting these nasty feelings which are forcing them to distance themselves from their partner. The unconscious mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you sow, you will eventually reap. In order to get your ex back, you have to erase the negative image of yourself from your ex mind and replace that with a new positive image of yourself. Once you do that, your ex will feel these strong inner urges to be with you again. They will start liking you the way they liked you at early stages of your relationship. They will find it hard to keep you out of their mind, and they will want you back at any possible cost. I'll show you exactly how to do this in a moment, but before that, let me give you the second step. Step 2. You have to alter the feelings they attach to your mental image. There are 3 really important emotions your ex absolutely needs to feel to want you back again. These are desire, attraction, love. But right now, they might be feeling hate, reluctance, or even anger towards you. In order to get them back, you have to transform the emotion of hate into desire, reluctance into attraction, and anger into love. Whenever we mentally picture a person, our unconscious mind gives us feelings associated with that person, which makes us either like or dislike that person. In order to have your ex back, you need to make them associate feelings of desire, attraction, and love to the image they see of you in their mind. Your ex should feel an intense sense of desire, attraction, and love whenever they picture you in their mind. And here's the best news. You currently hold the power to trigger that exact type of feeling you want your ex to experience when they're thinking of you. How, you ask? Well, you can do it by speaking a very specific language, which directly triggers a specific part in your ex's mind that is responsible for generating emotions. So what I'm saying is that by changing a few words, you can make your ex go from feeling almost no attraction for you to feeling an intense and overwhelming need to be with you again. This is so powerful that your ex won't be able to help themselves. They will subconsciously start feeling these intense feelings for you and will be unconsciously compelled to want you again. If you aren't using this secret, then you are doing yourself a huge disservice and are actually making a massive mistake. Not knowing this will lead you into relationship issues and problems, and you will always find yourself confused and frustrated. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, Ryan, I understand that I need to appeal to the emotional part of my ex's mind and alter the feelings they attach to my mental image, but I don't know exactly what to say or do to make it happen. So how do I do it? That's a brilliant question, and in order to answer it, I'll have to tell you a rather unusual story. From the point where I discovered this formula, I slowly started sharing it with some of my friends and relatives. Eventually, they referred more people, and things got so crazy that I just couldn't keep up with the demand. I mean, everything reached a point where I felt dangerously overwhelmed, and as a result, I started saying no to anyone who approached me for help. This made me feel absolutely horrible, and I was suffering from an intense level of guilt that made me feel restless and irritable. I was starting to feel tormented by confusing emotions. My pain was begging to be released, and I absolutely had to find a solution. One day, while I was in the shower, something suddenly popped up in my head. A sudden idea erupted in my head. I thought, since I can't help everyone one-on-one, wouldn't it be a good idea to convert my knowledge to an online course? That way everyone can have access to it. I quickly jumped out of the shower, dried myself, ran to my laptop, and started typing. For the next few months, I typed like a madman and finally turned all my knowledge into an easy-to-follow online course I now call Pull Your Ex Back. I know it sounds a little over the top, but I have revealed the exact process which will make your ex desire you like a fat kid desires a cheesecake. Knowing it will grant you the power to inspire tremendous amounts of love and attraction in your ex's mind every single time. You will connect with him or her on a level you've never imagined before. Also, none of this is hard. In fact, it's so easy that you'll feel almost silly for not having discovered this earlier. I can proudly say that these secrets, which are not taught in any class, discussed in any book, or shared anywhere else, it's an absolute must-know for you, period. But before I get to it, I need to warn you. What I will show you is very useful and dangerous all at the same time. It's like being handed a sharp knife. You can use it to cut vegetables. You can also use it to stab someone. So I hope you use this responsibly and only for good purposes. So, what exactly will you learn in my course? Here's a small list of what you can expect. Discover my curiosity builder trick, which will make your ex feel an overwhelming wave of curiosity about you. The kind of curiosity which will make your ex experience a strong tingle of excitement at the very thought of you. Don't be surprised if your ex shows an almost stalker-like interest in you after you use this trick. Do you know about the gift of good feelings? I'll show you a unique and almost weird way to make your ex feel good whenever they think about you. Your ex will experience a sudden spiral of hungry desire for you once you use this. It's crazy and shouldn't work, but it does. Is your ex avoiding your phone calls? Don't worry. I'll show you how to trigger a special kind of tension in your ex's mind which will unconsciously compel them to call you over and over again. Don't even think about calling your ex until you know this first. Are they dating someone else now? No problem. I'll show you how to use the power of positive jealousy to make your ex feel absolutely peak levels of attraction for you once again. And an attraction so intense that they will completely forget this new person and will feel extreme shivers of desire for you. You'll be stunned at how effective this really is. Do you experience an ugly churn in your stomach when you can't figure out what your ex is thinking? I'll reveal an under-the-radar method to figure out what your ex is thinking with pinpoint accuracy. Once you know this, getting your ex back will feel as easy as stealing candy from a kid. Did you screw up really bad with your ex? Don't worry. I'll show you a unique mind trick which will make your ex forgive you completely and sweetly drain all their doubts and fears about you. Plus, I'll also show you how to erase all your negative imprints from your ex's memory and make them only remember all the amazing and great times they've shared with you. Your ex will feel a flooding of uncontrollable joy at the very thought of you after you use this. Do you feel drained, hollow, and almost lifeless after the breakup? Is every muscle in your body screaming from the strain of that nasty breakup pain? I'll show you a rock-solid way to get rid of the breakup pain within minutes. This is a step-by-step method to pull yourself out of any depressed state no matter how intense it is. You will feel a sweet sense of relief once you use this. You don't want to miss this one. Do you know about the concept of social proof? I'll show you how to use this to trigger a sudden war of mixed feelings in your ex's mind, where on end he or she feels a desperate and almost acute sense of loss for letting you go, and on the other hand, finds himself or herself feeling this intense and almost urgent need to get you back in their life. Your belly will jump with excitement once you discover this. How to make your ex say yes to most of your requests. I'll show you the secret of using suggestive talk to get your ex to say yes to almost all your requests. This covert and almost under-the-radar technique will make your ex feel incredibly good whenever they follow through with your request. Your ex will literally bend to your will after this point. How to stop a breakup even before it happens. I will show you the concept called hardcore emotional bonding, which will emotionally turn your partner on at the very mention of your name. The same person who is planning on breaking up with you will now find themselves almost intoxicated with a new sense of love for you, which is addictive and almost obsessive. This will trigger an almost compulsive desire within your partner to never, ever let you go. Honestly, I could go on, but this isn't even half of what's covered in my program. Not only is my program going to help you get your ex back, but it will also help you build a rock-solid foundation for the rest of your life. From now on, you will never struggle with relationships, ever. By now, I can tell that you understand how valuable this really is. Just imagine how great your life is going to be when you completely understand what's going on in your ex's mind. Imagine how good you will feel when you will know exactly what to say or do in order to make your ex fall hard for you once again. Imagine how relieved you will feel when you know what to say and do to get the result you actually want, instead of mindlessly trying one thing after another only to face more frustration and disappointment. So now I want to ask you a rather intense question. What is it really worth to you to have this kind of power at your disposal? What is it worth to finally slip out of that agonizing feeling of helplessness and desperation? What is it worth to experience sweet feelings of utter euphoria when your ex finally comes back to you and wraps their arms around you with so much intensity and love that it's almost too good to be true? If you're like most people, then you've already suffered the endless torture and torment caused by your breakup. In my recent study, I was shocked to discover that most men and women spend $150 to $200 per hour on professional psychologists or counselors in hope that they will somehow find a way to get their ex back. But these so-called psychologists can't give you a way to get your ex back. You know why? Because they don't know either. This is why they usually advise you to just move on and try to help you work around the pain. It gets to a point where they eventually tell you that time heals everything. I personally know that nothing gets better with time. In fact, That painful knot in the pit of your stomach only grows worse and worse as you watch your ex going further and further away from you with time. Now, I'm no math genius, but if you add up the heavy cost of these counseling sessions, you will realize that you're spending more than $1,000 per month of your hard-earned money. If you add it up further, then you will have spent approximately $12,000 a year or more on these sessions alone. And if you've already experienced any of this, then you know that these so-called professionals can't help you and leave you with an empty bank account and that nasty tremble of anxiety in your body. This is the reason why the price of my course will not only sound like an absolute steal, but will actually shock you. After several discussions with many men and women over the last few months, everyone told me that a fair price for my system should be $197, considering the value and brilliant information it offered. Therefore, I decided that $197 would be a fair price. But then, I found myself suddenly overtaken by this swift shadow of depressing feelings. Something inside me whispered, "Ryan, this price might not be within the reach of some people." And that's the moment when I decided to do something crazy. Something I might probably regret later on, but you can take advantage of it right now. Here's what I've decided. You aren't going to pay $197 for my system. You aren't even going to pay $147. Heck, you won't even have to pay $97. By ordering today only through this presentation, you'll get the entire Pull Your Ex Back system for only $47. If you do some calculations and compare it with $12,000 a year on professional counseling, this is an absolute steal. Heck, if you calculate further and focus on the massive benefits you'll gain over a year by investing only $47 in my course right now, you will realize that you're only spending 13 cents per day. It's cheaper than buying a pizza. But I also need to give you a small warning. I'm only doing this as a small market test. I don't know how long I can keep the price of this system at $47. In fact, I'm planning on raising it soon. Therefore, if you leave this page, I can't promise that you'll be able to get it for $47 again. So grab it while this really tiny window of opportunity is still open. But wait, I want to make this decision not just easy, but so outrageously valuable that you'll feel almost silly for not taking advantage of it right now. If you choose to invest in my program right now, I'll also add the audio version of this program worth $97 absolutely free. This will make the learning process ridiculously easy for you, because now you can plug the audio into your iPod, phone, car, or tablet and listen to it even when you're on the go. Sounds good, but wait, there's more. I also want to give you a special report called the Mind Control Black Book. This report contains forbidden mind control tactics that work in cases which seem almost impossible. Try these on your ex today and watch them go from hating you to absolutely adoring you in record time. This report is worth $27 in value, and I've taken it off the market because it was too controversial in nature. So this is your one and only chance to get it because you can't buy it or get it anywhere else. But wait, I'm still not done. There is still one more thing. I also want to give you another special report called 21 Most Important Keys to Getting Your Ex Back. This report gives you 21 keys to triggering all those old positive feelings your ex once felt for you. Just knowing these 21 keys alone will make your ex drool over you like a hungry tiger drools over a piece of meat. This report is also worth $27 in value, and you won't be able to get it anywhere else. Now, if you add up the value of all these juicy goodies, it comes out to almost $200. But by ordering today, you can get it all for a super low price of $47. All right, enough talk. It's time for some action now. Let me tell you exactly how to get my program and start using it 5 minutes from now. You'll notice that there's a big Add to Cart button below this video. Just click on it and you'll be taken to a secure order page where you can fill in your payment details using a credit card, debit card, or PayPal. Once that is done, you'll be taken to a download page where you can have instant access to the program and start reaping the benefits 5 minutes from now. Plus, I'd also like to give you my "You are absolutely safe" guarantee. I'm so confident about my program that I'm going to do another ridiculous thing. Download my program right now, follow the super easy step-by-step instructions, and see how quickly you get your ex back. If over the next 60 days, you feel that you didn't get at least 10 times the value of your investment, or you just don't feel this program was right for you, even though that is very unlikely, or if you just didn't like it for some reason, let me know and I'll give you a 100% refund. So like I already said, your investment is 100% safe with this guarantee, and you'll have a full 60 days to test it out and decide. Hit the Add to Cart button right now, and let me help you get your ex back. All right, now you've seen and heard a lot in this presentation. If you've got this far, then you really have 3 things you can do. Thing 1, Leave this page and completely forget about what you saw or heard. Go back to living your life the way you've always lived and stay in that horrible breakup pain, hoping that someday it will go away and your ex might take you back. If that's what you're planning, then I wish you all the best. Thing 2. You're probably thinking about using the free advice you got from this presentation and doing it all on your own, which will definitely work for you, but there is a very high chance that you might struggle without knowing the exact how-to steps. You could see short-term results, but it might not be permanent. Thing 3. You can stay on this page, hit the Add to Cart button below, download the manual, and let me take you by the hand and guide you step by step through the whole process and put you on the fast track to massive success. And you understand that you have absolutely zero risk as you have a full 60 days to try the system, so this should be a very easy decision for you. Plus, do not put this off even one more second, because as you've already noticed, that I cut the price from $197 to only $47 just so you could jump in right now. Honestly, eventually I'll have to raise the price back to where it deserves to be, so act now before that happens. Hit the Add to Cart button below and download the program right now. This might sound a little off, but I want to say it anyway. There are two types of people on this planet, the spectators and the players. The spectators are the people who only watch things happen. This is the group which suffers the most in life because they don't make things happen. Rather, things happen to them, usually really bad things. They sit and watch as life passes them by. They only hope and wish that someday things would be better, but nothing ever changes. And then you have the players. This is a select group of people who make things happen, who live a life full of abundance and happiness because they act on the opportunities provided to them instead of sitting there and letting it pass them by. Do you know what percentage of people are actual players? You'd be surprised. It's only 3%. The rest of the 97% are spectators. So it's no wonder that so many people lead a life of silent desperation. I want to ask you, which category are you in? Are you a player or are you a spectator? I hope you're a player. Hit the Add to Cart button below and download the program right now. Here's the bitter truth. Problems that are not resolved today will most likely never be resolved. Majority of men and women spend months and years living a life of silent desperation, praying and hoping that their ex will give them a chance someday. The reality is that it won't happen. Your ex won't magically decide to be with you again out of the blue. If you keep on doing what you've always done, you will keep on getting what you always got. And here's the sad part. Most men and women refuse to get help. They sort of stick to their own personal theories and ideas. They take the old hit and trial route and struggle year after year after year to eventually end up heavily frustrated and hopeless. Why would you follow the hit and trial route when there are proven step-by-step secrets out there which will get you out of your misery and put you on the fast track to success? It's possible to create near instant change in your relationship and get your ex back if you know exactly how to tackle various situations effectively. And that's exactly what I will show you in my program. I've done all the hard work for you. All you really have to do now is to download the manual and apply the strategies to your life. Hit the Add to Cart button below and let me help you bring your ex back into your life. Look, in the very short time we've shared together, I've shown you that there are no impossible situations and that you can get your ex back no matter how much you screwed up. I've also shown you that it's really easy to get your ex back as long as you appeal to the emotional part of your ex's mind. And finally, you also know that I've devised the perfect formula called Pull Your Ex Back Formula, which shows you exactly how to appeal to your ex's emotional mind and make them fall head over heels in love with you again. So, since we agree on this, don't you think you should take immediate action by hitting the Add to Cart button below and take advantage of this special opportunity right away? Still skeptical? No problem. Let me address some frequently asked questions. When will I receive Pull Your Ex Back Manual? You will receive the book right away after order. It's an ebook in PDF format. That means you can instantly download it to your hard drive and start reading 5 minutes from now. How easy is that? Nothing is sent to your home and you will be billed by ClickBank for your privacy. Your transaction will be 100% secure and private. I'm scared of sharing my credit card information with you. Your transaction will be 100% secure and private. You'll be billed by ClickBank for your privacy. It's a very reputed company which has been in business for the last 14 years. You can always Google them for more information. Also, your credit card statement won't show that you've bought Pull Your Ex Back system. Rather, it will show a charge from ClickBank for your complete privacy. How fast will I get results? Results could be seen right away after the application of methods mentioned in the manual. Therefore, the faster you apply them, the faster you will see results. What if I cheated? Will it still work for me? You can still get him or her back quite easily. Yes, it might take a bit of time, but with my advanced step-by-step system, you will definitely see results. Listen, you have nothing to lose and the rest of your life to enjoy the unparalleled power you will get with your relationships. Grab hold of this opportunity right now before it's too late. Just imagine how great your life would be if you have the love of your life back in your arms again. You never have to face rejection again, ever. Get total control of your emotions and feel better than ever. Finally get your life back on track. You will get everything you need right here in this program, which will enable you to create the ultimate loving relationship you have always wanted and keep the man or woman of your dreams in your life forever. Click on the Add to Cart button below this video and I'll see you on the inside. Still here? No worries. Let me share a little more of what I've covered in my program. Revealed an absolute must-know secret to understanding how your mind functions, which will help you get rid of those deadly inner demons that have been causing massive emotional pain. Now you can make your mind do exactly what you want it to do. A simple change in thinking that will instantly put you back in control of the situation and turn this painful situation into an exciting adventure that only gets better and better. Got dumped? Discover a shocking secret ingredient which every man desperately craves, yet most women aren't even aware of. Do this right, and no man will ever dare to dump you again. One deadly mistake you are constantly making with your ex? Trust me, this will totally shatter your chances of ever getting your ex back. You must eliminate this life-sucking trap before it's too late. A secret ingredient every man and woman looks for in their partner. This is something all men and women desperately want, or else they will dump you sooner or later. This is the ultimate hidden secret to keeping your partner glued to you. Insanely effective field-tested technique, which will unconsciously drive your ex almost crazy thinking about you. Do not be surprised if your ex chases you around after you implement this. A powerful, deadly mind trick. Do just these and it's guaranteed that your ex will want to be with you till the end of time. This is one secret no one will ever share with you. An earth-shattering way to talk that will make your ex find you exceptionally intriguing and will build their curiosity to crazy levels almost instantly. This is the core secret of success behind getting them back. And once again, I could go on, but this still is not even half of what I've covered in my program. Hit the Add to Cart button below, and I'll see you on the inside.